What's up, guys? Welcome everybody to Es Todo episode. I think this is 6 now.
All right.
So we're getting into it here. I'm with my good buddy Chris. Chris, how you doing tonight?
Good. What's going on, Mario?
Just hanging out,
Yeah.
sweating like I was saying because I was trying to move the chairs and stuff around, trying to get a better shot, but it ended up staying the same. So
Yeah.
But I did want to get you on, bro, because honestly, I know that you're kind of a. Would you call yourself a health nut? Would you say you are?
Health nut? No,
No,
not
not
at
too
all.
much?
Not a
Okay.
health nut, but I do value my health now a little bit more than I used to. In the past, a lot of life changes, stuff changes, and yeah, man, it's been a journey. I'll tell you that much.
I bet, man.
You're the same journey you're on.
Yeah, I think
100%.
I don't talk to everybody about it, but I mean, I've been up and down, right? Up and down,
Right.
trying to lose weight. I've been a big guy since I was a kid. I mean, I was basically in the 6th grade. I was already like 250 pounds, 5'8". Everybody thought I was going to be a football player, but I just grew like another inch, and that was it. And that was it, basically. 5'9".
Yeah.
And ever since high school, man, I've always been, 250s, 300 pounds, and the most I ever got to was like about 380, and my back couldn't take it, man. One day that was it. Like my back just, my sciatic just gave out one day, and actually I was like 25. I was lifting a speaker because we used to, kind of be DJs and roadies at the same time, throwing parties. And just boom, I felt something, and that was it. And then that was the first time I ever like had an incident with sciatic.
So was it like throwing your back out completely? Like, were you able to still move, or like did you have to go get surgery, or what was that?
No, it was just kind of like, I mean, at that time, I mean, I didn't have any medical. So like in my mind, I was like, okay, my back's out. What is, and then my buddy that was like, oh, bro, like I could tell right away that's your sciatic. Like he was like, here, bro, have some muscle relaxer.
Yeah.
Like here, bro, have, and I was like, all right, and then so that whole day it just felt weird. And then I just remember waking up the next morning and I couldn't move. Like I was in bed and I was just like, I felt like my back was broken.
Yeah.
I was like literally like Mike Tyson, my back is broken. Like I was like scared. I didn't know what to do. And then, finally got up and then, realized, oh, it's your sciatic, right? It's your sciatic. And then after probably like a week, kind of
goes
better.
away. Yeah.
And then so it would kind of happen here and there. I mean, I remember one time I was just literally grabbing my groceries from the grocery lady, like just grabbed my bag and boop, I felt the pop. And I was like, oh, that was it.
Back stuff's weird, man. I was in a motorcycle accident in like 2016, and I ended up like the car cut me off and I T-boned this Jeep and I flew over the top, and at the time nothing really hurt, and then a little bit of here and there, banged up, bruised up, and then a little while later I would just reach down to tie my shoe
and that was it,
and it locked up, and it was like boom, I was just stuck. I was just basically face down, ass up, trying. I couldn't move, man. Everything was just locked up, and it was just. And then, like you said, though, it's the little things that might. You never know what it's gonna be, and it's just like all of a sudden something locks up, and you're just putting shoes on, man. And it's like game
what's
over.
crazy is I was seeing this story on. I think it was. I don't know if it was like a doctor or a dentist or something like that, but this dude, I guess, no, it was. I want to see, it was like a chiropractor or something. And basically what ended up happening with this patient was like, hey, I've been working in construction, and dude, I don't even think he was in his 30s yet. And the doctor was like, okay, so what happened? He said this same thing, like, oh, I bent down, and then boom, that was it. I was done. And then, the doctor was like, oh, that's kind of weird, like, yeah, I don't know what happened, but for some weird, he was just like, hey, have you have any work done on your teeth lately? And he was like, yeah, I had a root canal like maybe like a week before that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, huh, okay. And I don't know how he correlated it, but he figured that something was going on with like in his system, right? Like, so basically what was going on is that it was almost like sepsis. Like there was bacteria growing like from
the socket or whatever that they
and
pulled.
then for whatever weird reason, that's what it was. And he couldn't feel it, right? He couldn't feel it because of the root being taken out, right? When you do the root canal. And then I guess they ended up looking and seeing that there was like an abscess whatever.
Oh yeah.
And then after that, he said like I want to probably like a few weeks later, he came in walking in, and was like that cured him, right? So like it's weird how certain things correlate like that.
Yeah.
Like you don't realize it. Like oh man, like. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know exactly that. I mean, obviously for you, you know, it was
Yeah.
because of a motorcycle. Like,
Yeah.
was there anything else that you had to deal with when?
With the motorcycle
Yeah,
accident?
I
Little
got
bit
rather
things.
not talk about it.
Yeah. Just bang up here and there and
Yeah.
just it was but yeah, it was what it was. It was a quick little accident, nothing too crazy, but yeah, so that was one of them, but yeah, man. This other thing too, you know, we were talking about the back, right? Like what I wish I would have known a lot earlier was how important our core is to like overall health.
No, yeah,
Like that's one thing that I never worked on growing up, like lower back, upper, or just your core in general, you know, because
just tightening your
sit-ups
your
are boring,
stomach.
planks
Yeah,
are
no,
boring, like
100%,
core
yeah.
work sucks, you know,
Yeah.
but like
what would you consider core work though, like to help your core? Because I know, like, I'm always like my fear is like I know there was times where I would try to do like sit-ups, and then that would actually make me my sciatic nerve boom, and then I'd be like, dude, I'm scared to even do sit-ups
to even
anymore.
try it.
Yeah. So then, like,
Yeah.
what would you consider like a core workout that I can basically help myself like start?
I mean, something to start, like planks. You ever do planks?
I haven't tried because honestly, I know it's. I mean, those are pretty hard.
You know,
Yeah.
but that's the thing. You just hold
Yeah.
yourself up as long as you can, lay yourself down,
Uh-huh.
pick yourself back up, hold yourself. You can do it, you know, multiple ways, on your elbows, on your hands,
Okay.
you know, like in a push-up position, or just on your elbows, or then you can lean onto your, you know, one side to the other and just kind of start from there. That's where I'd really, you know, start with it to like, because it's just not your like your main muscles, you know, because we have like stabilizer muscles also, like the smaller muscles, like when you're lifting and everything, that help stabilize that lift or help stabilize that core, that help support the bigger muscles.
Yeah.
So,
I think like right now for myself, I've just kind of been doing just like the lifting of like with dumbbells, like just working on my chest, working on my arms, working on my back arms, working on my, you know, my back. I've been kind of doing some kettlebell stuff, which trips me out because I'm like, in my mind, I'm trying to do kettlebell, like trying to work on my shoulders or whatever, because somebody's on the cable. So I'm like, I can't use the cables. I'll use the kettlebells, and then next thing you know, my back's sore.
yeah,
Right, because you're over here.
you're
going like
using
this.
your full
You don't
body.
realize it.
Yeah. No,
You don't
you're
realize
using
it.
that full range of motion and
Yeah.
everything that, like I said, like all those muscles that come into play when you're doing kettlebell swings or, you know, whatever is presses, or, you know what I mean? You're doing a lot more stuff that, you know, is, and my thought on it is more conducive to everyday life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the kettlebell is a great workout. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I mean, think about how many times you know that sooner or later you're gonna end up having to pick stuff up, right? Like I know at work, like we'll bring the waters, right? They'll deliver waters, and they're pretty heavy. So in my mind, like the times that I have done them, like when I lift them, right,
Yeah.
and I try to lift right, like you know, boom, lift it up right, and then
Yeah.
next, you know, the next day, oh, my back hurts.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm like, dude, I don't even want to lift that, and I feel bad because I see, you know, you guys are probably like, man, this guy's lazy. He doesn't want to help pick these things up. But I'm like, dude, I don't want to hurt my back. I don't want to have to wake up tomorrow with my back hurting. You know what I mean? So, and
You know,
even
that's
just the bed.
Yeah. Well, even then, part of that, you know, like I think that was one of my big things on like the weight loss journey, the health journey, and everything too, was just those simple things, you know, that we kind of take for granted, right? Like when I was at my biggest was like 280, and I never really looked past anything like future wise, like, man, am I gonna be able to play with my grandkids, or like, you know what I mean? Like when my kids turn, you know, whatever age and go run full court basketball games and like, you know, do stuff like that. You know, I never really had that thought in my mind. It was just, I was not in the greatest mindset, greatest anything at that
Like
point.
how old were you? Would you say that you were basically not thinking about that?
Oh man. I mean, I don't think I ever thought about it. You know what I mean? I don't think I ever thought about it from, I mean, I had my son when I was 23. Had my daughter a couple years after that. So it was like, I never really had that thought of like any future thought. You know what I mean? It was all like really, really like what's happening now. You know,
Oh,
what
yeah.
like didn't have that discipline of like of, you know, like what is that? Like there's some great sayings out there like you'd rather feel the pain of discipline than the pain of regret.
Right, right.
You know
right.
what I mean? So like and having that discipline every day, that takes work, man. It takes tons of work, and
Yeah, it does,
it's a lot more fun to eat like shit, drink, party, do all that.
It's
And
easy.
It's easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is easy, and you don't think about that as future consequences that come up.
I think that I've talked to you about it, but I always tell people it's like we just take advantage of our youth, right? Like some of us take advantage of our youth in a good way, right? If you're say you're really good at football and you know you're working out all the time and you go and you become this big athlete, you go into the NFL. Some of us take advantage of it in a good way, and then some of us take advantage of our youth as far as like pushing our bodies. They're pushing their bodies to the brink of like trying to become this like Greek goddess almost, right? And other people are just kind of pushing their bodies, eating, you know, ultimate cheeseburgers and drinking Cokes, you know, drinking 2 Cokes a day, drinking Monsters all day. And it's just kind of going. And then like and then in that time, because you're young, your body can, you know, regenerate, right? It can go ahead and take those things and still feel okay. Right. But there comes to a certain point where you're like, dang, bro, why do I feel weird? Why do I feel like so much brain fog? Why do I feel so tired? Why do I feel lethargic? Why, you know, I mean, even myself, like for the longest time, I didn't even know I was lactose intolerant. I thought something like, what's wrong with me? Like, right. Because at the time, right, we didn't use Google like the way we use it now, where it was like right then and there, right? You didn't have the WebMD, whatever, right? And so like, I remember just like every morning I would have, you know, cereal, and at night I would have cereal.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, bro, why is my stomach always messed
my
up?
guts
Like,
all just
yeah,
tore up.
I'm serious. And I'd be like, dude, there's something wrong with me. Like, what's going on with me? And I know like my grandma had something going on too, because we were always fighting for the bathroom. You know what I mean? Like, like we were like, it would be like, you know, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. Oh, grandma's in there. I gotta go use the other bathroom. You know, and then she would be the same thing, right? Like I would be in there and I would hear like, God, you know. So like. But then sooner or later, you know, like after so many years, I put, you know, 2 and 2. I'm like, dude, I think I'm lactose intolerant. Like, but and think about that whole time frame could have been from like 19 to like, you know, 23 or 24, where I was just doing that and not realizing it because of my youth and not, you know, putting 2 and 2 together.
Well, you're thinking that's just everyday life.
Yeah, like this is normal.
This is normal, right?
Yeah.
No.
So then. But again, we took advantage of our youth, right? Like you took advantage of it, like thinking like, dude, like human beings, like for whatever reason, we think like we're invincible, right? And then when you're a kid, you feel invincible. You just feel like you can fall on the ground and then just get up.
Because
right?
you can, for the most part,
yeah.
right?
And if that were to happen, right, you'd be like, you wake up the next day all sore. I know not everybody knows, but I was basically like 380 pounds.
Yeah.
And I started working out and I was feeling myself, right? I was feeling good, man. And I just remember at one point just feeling like, man, I can just run and I can just move. And it's just like, damn, I was feeling good again, right? From being 380 pounds to whatever. I was probably 300 to 280 around there or something. And I was just like, I remember like, we kind of fight for parkings at my apartment complex, right? Because you get one and then we have 3 cars between myself, my wife, and my mother-in-law. And my mother-in-law's coming home, so I'm like, oh, dude, we gotta move the car so she can get this. She should get the spot, and I'm just like, this car just moved. I'm gonna move my car. I remember just like running and sprinting, and I ran through an area, like through a dark area where there's trees, and I thought, okay, I'm just gonna sprint through here, and I hit a root, and I just fell. Boom, and I felt like right on my like right chest. Yeah. And I remember just being like, oh God. Got up. And then by the time I got to my car, and by the time I got to the spot, somebody took the spot. So I was like, damn, what was the point of that? And I just remember just feeling sore, like my ribs were sore. Like I could have freaking fractured my ribs. And in my mind I was like, dude, I need to relax. Like I need to chill, right? Like I need to pay attention. Things like that make you pay attention, right? It's just like when you lift, you're not just gonna go in there and go lift and I'm just gonna pick up this weight, like, you know, like I gotta do it a certain way, right? So
but you know, but to that point though, right, like wouldn't it feel good to know you have that capability and that ability to, oh, I'm getting that spot, right? And I'm running, and if there's roots, like I'm like, because it just won't happen overnight, you know what I mean? Especially if you haven't ran or like that in a while, right? But like you do start to like feel the terrain and right? And then like let's say you do get tripped up, you fall different. You know what I mean, right? Like you fall different. You can like I don't know.
No, you can bounce back up,
and like man, I got that spot for my mother-in-law.
Yeah,
you know? But
no, but even now, like you know, I lost the weight, gained back like 60 pounds, just basically because I had to get my gallbladder removed and gained it back, and I just I lost my dog, and I was just sad, depressed. I was trying to find time to work out and to wake up, and I was trying to wake up in the morning. I mean, it's hard to wake up especially when you're a bigger guy. Like I've dealt with sleep apnea and all that stuff, so it's like, how do I find the energy to get this right? How do I do this right? And I've told you, like, you know what, like I take a morning juice in the morning, early bird cocktail I take every morning, because I know that this thing, it is like an energy shot, right? It's got the green tea, it's got the caffeine in it.
Yeah.
And then it has the electrolytes. So a lot of times I feel groggy in the morning, right? Maybe I had a lot of carbs the night before or whatever it is. So I feel like dehydrated, and I drink that. It makes me feel better. It just gives me like a little bit,
So, something on that though, I don't know if I've talked to you about this yet though, is one thing that if you can do and start it tomorrow or whatever, but try to wait as long as you can until you have your first thing of caffeine. Because what happens when we wake up in the morning, we get, we still have like reserve energy, right? That still needs to be burnt off. So if we don't have our body naturally burn that energy off, and we're supplementing caffeine too early, we get the afternoon crash, because the caffeine we intake counteracts you're kind of like double pumping your body with energy, right? Okay. First thing in the morning. So, what we can do is wait, like start like maybe tomorrow, just start to like wait 30 minutes. If you can wait 30 minutes, right? You see how you feel. And then you take your morning cocktail, right? Your morning energy boost. And then maybe the next day do another 30 minutes, but then the next day try to hit like
myself a little bit,
45. And then really the longer you can go until you can take that first, because I think this is a lot of people's issue. Oh, like, don't talk to me until I have my coffee. Fuck that. Like, no, have that discipline of, okay, either I'm going to go to bed earlier, I'm going to get better sleep, I'm going to figure out what is going to make me sleep the best, because sleep is so important. But anyways, back to the thing. So, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, hour and a half. If you can have your first sip of caffeine between an hour and a half and 2 hours, you're gonna feel that difference later on in the day. Okay. Because you're not gonna get the double energy and then you're gonna get that like mid-afternoon slump, because that is part of why that slump occurs, is because we don't burn our natural energy first. So
like when you say natural energy, is that like are you talking about like glycogen in your muscles, or is it something?
I don't know exactly what it's called, but we do have like a natural energy that just needs to be burned off first. Okay. Before you intake your caffeine or whatever you normally do.
Because sometimes what I do, like I always feel like it's just like levels of like waking up, right? So like in the morning, I used to like drink it right away, but now what I do is like I'll wait, like I'll go to the bathroom, whatever, how long it takes me to go to the bathroom. And then I'll just be like, all right, okay, now I feel like another level. I'm waking up myself, right? I'm not just like using something. Yeah. And then, I'll go, okay, I'm going to take my daughter to the bathroom. And then after a while, then I'll be like, all right, I'm going to drink this. Then I'll drink it, right? And then I'll I've told you, like I've took Tongkat Ali, because I know Tongkat Ali is a natural supplement that basically brings down or takes down your estrogen and brings up your testosterone. Mm-hmm. And being that I'm a bigger guy, like I know it's scientifically proven that I'm creating more estrogen in my body. Right. So like you know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't really want to like, I can take testosterone, but I'm like, I'll just take this natural thing. Why not? Yeah. And then, it's been proven to work. So, and I've already seen like the weird side effects that I look people up like, oh, these are the weird side effects that happen. Right. And then like, they were like, this guy was like, you're going to get headaches at first, because it's basically like a woman when she's on her period, right? Like her estrogen goes down, and so then she starts starts getting headaches. So it's the same thing as
thing
happened to me, right? So it did happen at first. Now I'm used to it, so I don't get the headaches. Right. But just that little, and then you know what I mean, just that little, so that when I do lift and when I do like, it gives me that little extra like, yeah, like
Right.
that little, instead of like normally I'd be like, oh, like oh my gosh, I don't want to, you know what I mean? Because even I've heard guys talk about it, like you know sometimes like your cortisol's high in the morning, right? Because your body's stressed out, maybe you didn't sleep good the night before, so your cortisol's high, and then you'll feel that weakness, right? Like when you try to tighten your hands and you feel that weird weakness.
Yeah.
And so like there's times where that would happen too, and I'd be like, okay, my cortisol's probably high. Maybe I don't want to sprint this morning. Maybe I'll just walk
Right.
on the treadmill or something. So I don't know. It's just it's a trip how in your journey of weight loss and trying to get healthy, you learn things here and there. You do take things to help you. Like obviously there's people that take pre-workout. Like I've never taken a pre-workout.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was
So-
like my you know, I take pre-workout every once in a while. The only thing I really take daily is my tea and lift off and like vitamin B complex and everything else. You know, that's what I do. Like I am looking for a pre-workout again though that made my brain tingle. I like
Yeah.
that feeling, man. It's just like it
And I
felt like
know-
my brain's just like bubbling a little bit, and I'm like, ooh, I like that.
I know there's some, I've seen people do like, there's pre-workouts that come with like electrolytes and stuff like that too. So I don't know if that's,
I don't know what it is. I don't know what
Yeah.
caused the brain tingle,
Yeah.
but it was like, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. You
well,
know?
I know that there's some kind of energy drink or pre-workout that makes you like itchy or something like that. I don't know
Maybe
if that's the same thing.
Maybe that's the feeling. I don't know, but yeah, I like that brain
Yeah.
tingle, man. That's
But I mean, honestly though, like it's a trip seeing myself now, like considering like one, just like, you know, the clothes fitting better, right? Loose, and then just feeling good, man. Just
Oh,
feeling
100%.
overall good. Like sometimes there's time I'm thinking like, why did I even drink coffee? Like I feel good, you know, why did I even, you know what I mean? Like
Right. Yeah.
I'll even think that like, why did I, you know, because even like on the way to work, I'll have some like regular like Folgers coffee, and then I'll put some like my everyday dose coffee, which is doesn't have that much caffeine in it, but it has like the, you know, lion's mane. And
Oh, you got
it's
it's
got,
like,
like-
the
yeah, like-
mushroom coffee.
yeah, it's got like amino acids. It's got stuff for your gut, which has helped me a lot too, dude. Because my gut was messed up. I know it was. For some weird reason, I never thought, I'm like, oh, maybe I should take some like acidophilus, right? Like something to help my gut. I never did, but this coffee comes with this, so I was like, oh, I'll just
Yeah.
try it, and it's helped me out, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
because
Well, that's the thing too, man. People just you don't know what you don't know. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like 100%. You know, and like if you're thinking like, oh, this is just how life is. I'm gonna eat cereal and my gut's gonna be fucked up. You know,
yeah, exactly.
and it's like, but I really like cereal, so
Yeah.
it's like, but you putting those two together, and you're at the end of the day, you're just like, at a certain point though, something clicks, or it doesn't for some people.
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
which is the shitty part too, right? Because it's like at a certain point, either clicks or it doesn't, and if you're one of those people that it's clicked on, you can only say so much to somebody that that isn't there yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just, and all you can do at that point is just kind of lead by example and just go from there. You know? Cause
Yeah, and everybody's different, right? Like some people have like hormonal problems. Some people are dealing with, you know, maybe there's something going on with their, you know, physical aspect, right? Maybe they did have a spill and they broke, you know, maybe they heard something, and so now they're like, well, what do I do? Like, how do I start? You know, because I'm in pain, right? I mean, I know when I was like hitting 380. I mean, dude, even my leg was like getting purple down here.
Yeah,
I had,
yeah.
you know, I had these like those like, you know, pre-diabetes like stains here.
yeah,
I mean, it was
that's
getting
scary though, right?
Yeah,
Because like,
It is.
and at a certain point, like, because like I said, I was 280, right? But at a certain point, like I remember like stretch marks.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell is
You're like,
going
what's
on here?
See, like
you
with
know
me,
what
like
I
I
mean?
remember stretch marks since I was a little kid because I was
Yeah.
always a big boy.
Right.
So that's like a normal thing to me.
Yeah.
But to some people, yeah, it's like,
But it's
Yeah.
not a normal thing.
no, it's not.
You know what I mean? So, and it's just crazy, like what we create, right, for ourselves. Of like this is how we can make something that isn't normal normalized, right?
Well, that's kind of like I saw my brother post something online. My brother's a big dude. We're both big dudes, and he was saying something like it's trip how at one point somebody was, or no, the guy from Full Metal Jacket, they were making him work out, and they were saying he was fat, and then you watch him, you know, and you think like, dude was not even fat. You know what I mean?
Which one? The Pyle?
The one that's the crazy one.
The crazy one? Yeah.
Yeah. So then, but
Pyle, right?
he was saying something like, yeah, it's crazy. Like I remember I was a senior and I thought I was big, right? And so like, there's a point in your life where you think you're really big, maybe, and you don't care. You're just like whatever, and then next thing you know, you're like 20 pounds more.
Right.
For 30 pounds more.
Yeah. No,
40
exactly.
pounds more. And you're like, damn, I wish I would have stayed where I was at over there, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think about myself and I think to myself, yeah, like right now I'm back to the way I was in high school because I was a big boy already.
Right.
And that's good. I'm glad, you know.
Yeah.
I think I've heard people say, you know, this is your threshold. Like you can get back to that person you were like when you were 18 or 19 and you can get there. Now, once you start trying to go past that, right, it's going to be a little harder. So, but I'm like thinking to myself, like, dang, dude, like only if I would have known about intermittent fasting when I was.
It's huge. That's such a game changer.
Yeah.
It is 100% a game changer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much how, you know, I'll say I lost a lot of my weight. 100% was intermittent fasting, and I did it accidentally.
Yeah, same
True.
here. Yeah, same
like
here.
I didn't even know what it was. You know, I just knew something had to change. So the first thing I changed was I wasn't gonna eat shitty breakfast. You know what I mean? And I didn't even know what bad breakfasts are. Like, to be honest. And so from going from not eating a breakfast to saying, okay, and now for lunch, I'm going to have a salad. And it didn't matter what kind of salad it was. It was a Cobb salad, chef salad. It could be all lettuce with a steak on top. I was calling it a salad. You know what I mean? But it wasn't a burger. It wasn't the taco truck. It wasn't, you know, it was, at least it was a salad. And just that change there, that brought me from like 280 down to 250. And
like little by little,
right?
To, like,
and then I still wasn't working out or doing anything else. This when I was working construction, so you know, I was still physically active. Not like I was working out, but it was, you know, an active job. And then from like 250, 245, that's when I started drinking the teas that I drink. That, you know. And
was it Herbalife or was it?
Yeah, it was Herbalife.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's when I met my wife. And she introduced me to these teas, and that's when I was like, all right. So then I drink.
And that's when you fell in
love with the tea and with her, right? And so I
shout out tomorrow, bro. Tomorrow's your anniversary.
Yeah,
right?
tomorrow, 1 year, man.
You want to shout out something to your wife right now to the camera if you want. I mean, I'll edit it, and then you could
shout
hey,
out,
babe.
baby. No, all right, baby. I love you. Happy anniversary, and can't wait to see you.
All right.
But yeah,
those teas helped you out a lot, though.
Yeah, they did.
What kind of tea was it actually?
So it's a green tea. It has a vitamin B complex and it has aloe. Super simple, nothing too crazy. And from there, I wouldn't eat breakfast, and sometimes I wouldn't eat lunch, and I'd just have like a decent sized dinner.
So like
but it would be
like OMAD, 1 meal a day.
Yeah, OMAD, 1 meal a day, and it would be like low carb, right?
Yeah.
And I really stuck with that. Toughest thing I could ever do though was not eat chips and salsa. I'm a chips and salsa fiend, man. I go for it. And but yeah, so yeah, from 245, and then I don't know how I got turned on to it, but YouTube, man, if you want to know anything about life, man, YouTube is like.
No, yeah, that's how I started. I mean, I honestly, the first person I ever heard talk about intermittent fasting, when I first started kind of like doing fasting, basically in the mornings. I basically was watching like I wasn't even YouTube actually. This was a video on Facebook. It was Terry Crews. Terry Crews, the actor. If you guys don't know, Terry Crews is the guy from Mean Chicks, right? Like he's over here like making
White
my way
chicks.
downtown.
Mean Chicks.
Sorry,
That's
did
the
I say
wrong
Mean
one.
Chicks? White Chicks. Sorry. And so he started talking about like intermittent fasting, and I was like, man, this guy's pretty jacked, and he's talking about intermittent fasting. Like, okay. And then, you know, from that I started learning more and more, and then. I mean, my thing was, you know, because when I hurt my back, I was just walking. I said, the only way I'm going to get better is if I walk, right? And even physical therapists like, hey, man, you got to walk. In my mind, I was like, why? But again, it's just because you're standing up straight. You're starting to get those fluids back into your spine, right? And start, normal That's kind of what they talk about, right?
Right.
Like even in the mornings, like when you get up, like they say go for a walk and all that, all the spinal whatever starts to disperse all the liquids that your spine needs or whatever. But basically from walking, and then because when all those fires were going on and there was so much smoke, I was like, dude, I'm about to go in the gym. So then I start hearing dudes that work it out like, yeah man, what you want to do is you want to make sure to lift first, because your all the carbs and everything gets stored in your muscles, so all the glycogen, and then so you want to get rid of that first, so you lift, get rid of that, and then when you go, then you do your cardio. So then I was all right, then I'll just go my cardio. With me, it was just I would just walk, but what I was doing was I was doing incline, because I thought, well, I'm still getting my heart rate up.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still pushing myself. I'm not running, but I'm doing an incline. And so I started doing that, and then I was seeing the difference because I was doing it fasting too, right? So my body's like, where do I get the freaking energy from? So I got it from my fat, and then that I just started losing weight like crazy right away. And I mean, that's what helped me, just hearing that, and then just hearing doctors talk about it, like, hey, did you know that first of all, the reason why fasting's so good is because it helps with inflammation, right? Because think about it, like, normally when we eat, what do? We're your body's focusing on breaking down that food, right? And so now it's going to help with inflammation, because now your body's like, hey, I don't have to worry about food anymore.
About breaking this stuff down.
Yeah, I can help you. Where does it hurt? Oh, it hurts there. Let me help that. Oh, it helps with this. And then they were saying like, 18 hours, because you're not eating any protein, your body basically creates its own. Your body creates HGH, human growth hormone, right? Everybody's like, I need to synthetically get human growth hormone. Like, no, your body at 18 hours has been scientifically proven, your body will disperse human growth hormone.
Yep.
And so what does that mean? That means it's going to make you look younger too. So as a person that you're like, man, I want to look younger. Hey, guess what? Your own body, your own self, you can make yourself look younger by fasting, right?
Yeah.
And then by that, then there's people that their muscles are getting bigger because, again, they're the human growth hormone. So there's so many things.
So
obviously
many
ketones,
benefits,
like a certain amount of time. Ketones, I don't know if you've ever felt that, like doing the 1 meal a day is where you just feel like almost like euphoric.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
almost like a weird high, like where you're like, whoa, this feels amazing. I've never felt this before.
Right? Yeah, because your body, you're burning all this stuff that needs to be burned, and you're kicking out bad cells, creating new cells. You're creating,
Oh yeah, speaking of autophagy.
Yeah, I mean, like, and it's like you said, at certain hours of your fast, you're creating all these different things. Like 16 hours when it like starts to happen, and then 18 to 20 hours is like a kind of turn point, and then like by the time like 24 hours, you got. You're
creating ketones. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not sure when autophagy happens. I know there's a certain way to like have autophagy happen first. Like there's people that take certain supplements that will like, oh yeah, this will cause autophagy to happen at 12 hours. Where I'm like, damn, that'd be crazy. But basically autophagy is your own body eating itself, right? Yeah. But it's eating all the bad cells, all the bad proteins. And which is why a lot of doctors sometimes will say, hey, like people that have like tumors that are dealing with cancer, they'll say, go for a freaking like a 3-day fast or something, because it just starts your body. Because basically, those tumors are feeding off of the food you're giving it, right? Like the sugars and all that stuff. So it's like now if you're fasting and you're just doing your water fast, your own body's gonna start to just attack that tumor, Of course, I'm not a doctor, so don't 100% quote me on that. But
sounds good to me.
It's been proven though, so
No, exactly. Yeah, man. No, I like I said, I love fasting. I like the freedom that it can give you 100%. Like if you're, you don't have to be so strict on what you eat when all you got to do is worry about your eating window, which is super simple. So like, like let's say you have a late night with your wife or whatever, and you guys eat a late dinner and you don't get done eating until like 10 o'clock, right? All you do the next day is you just push back the next time you eat. You know what I mean? And that could be a 16-hour or whatever your fasting goal is, 12-hour minimum. But whatever your fasting goal is, you just push it back that much further the next day. And then, a lot of this stuff now is like 3 to 4 days of fasting is just as good as 6 to 7 days of fasting.
Yeah.
So, so you can do like 3 days of a 12-12 fast, 12-hour fast, 12-hour eating window, you know, and you still hit like 3 meals, no snacks. And then the other 3 or 4 days of the week, you can do like a 16-hour fast, a 14-hour fast, a 20-hour fast, and then like once a month, like really try to hit like a 24-hour fast, and it's just that easy.
No,
you know
yeah,
what
like
I mean?
even
And it changes your mindset and your discipline. Like that's the one thing, right? That was my first thing. Is what I said is everything else in my life was all kind of flip turned, all crazy and everything, but the one thing I can control 100% was what I fed my body. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, and no matter what time of day, no matter what was going on, that is the one thing I could control, is what I fed my body and when I fed my body, right? And it didn't even have to do with doing push-ups, doing sit-ups or whatever, but that was my next step. Once I was able to control what I put in my body, then the next thing was, okay, now I get to one thing at a time. Now I'm doing push-ups every day, sit-ups every day, and just regular squats every day. Not even hitting the gym, just setting a number. Okay, I'm doing 50 of each a day.
Nice.
If I do 5 here, 5 there, 10 here, 10 there, while the shower's warming up, I'm knocking out like 15 countertop push-ups. I'm counting them towards my 50,
Yeah, they were saying that. What were they saying that for those like guys that do like 40 push-ups a day or whatever are less likely to have a heart attack. And it's like scientifically proven. Like, wow, that's cool.
Right.
Yeah.
And 40 push-ups a day, and you, like I said, you can do 5 here, 5 there. That's 10.
Yeah.
Now and then you hit 10 somewhere else. Now you're halfway to your goal, and like let's say right before you go to bed, you're still at 30. Well, what does it take you to do 10 push-ups?
That's true. Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Under a minute to do 10 push-ups easily. You know what I mean? Knock out 10 push-ups.
Like with me right now, bro, like honestly, like I kind of just do like girl push-ups, what you would, you know what I mean? Like I be doing those because I know like if I try to do regular push-ups, like at one point I couldn't do any. Now I can I'll do like 5 or 6 or whatever. Right. And and it's a trip to be like, to actually feel myself do them. I'm like, damn, I'm actually doing push-ups, like normal push-ups, like a dude should be able to do. Like this is like, but then once I get tired, I'm like, I'll just do regular, with girl push-ups, whatever, because I'm like, hey dude, I'm a big dude. Like,
but you're still moving. That's the biggest thing, is you're still staying moving. Like when we do our workouts, it's 45 second. So it's like a HIIT style workout, 45 second work, 30 second rest, 45 second work. So like when we have like push-ups as one of the stations, yeah, maybe I'm only knocking out like 15 like solid push-ups. Then as soon as I start to feel myself like not like getting like in a good push-up,
right,
then I'll hit the knees,
and then you start just
and I'll knock out the girl push-ups. You know what I mean? For
it's
for the remainder of the time,
because
it's still I'm still trying. And then with that too, you can push your arms out further. You can, you know what I mean, wider.
Yeah, because each thing works out. Like if you go like a little higher, working out your shoulders more.
Yeah.
So yeah,
as long as you're moving, man, that's the biggest thing. Is just stay moving.
Well, like this morning, I was like, dude, I feel like crap, and I was like, I felt like I didn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, bro? Like what I do when I first started working out, and I was like, okay, what can I do if I can't get to the gym? I said, you know what, bro? I'm going to dance. So I just, I have a playlist of a few songs that go to 30 minutes, and they're all merengue. Okay. And merengue is just like, anywhere from like 125 to 130 beats per minute.
Mm-hmm.
So I started off kind of slow with like a slower merengue song.
Yeah.
Right. And then basically I start off with Red, Red Wine. Red, right? Just I'll do my little I used to do this thing called Slim and Six for people that back in the day, if they don't know Slim and Six, and like there's certain workouts that I remember, right? Okay. So like over the head, and then this way, and then then I do this, and then I do my hands up, my knees up, hands up, and I'll do it just for like, I'll do like 10, 10, 10, and for my back I'll do the knees up, hands up. I'll do like 20 of those, and just to kind of get warmed up, and then I'll change it to this merengue. Then I start doing merengue. Boom, 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 and then I do some other workouts to where I'm just like kick in the air,
like 30,
30 over here, and then 30 over there, 30 over here, and then my heart rate will go up to like 160 beats per minute, like I'm running,
Right.
And so I'm like, it's easy for me because I'm at home.
And it's something you enjoy too, right?
Yeah,
because
it's fun.
you like dancing. It's
Yeah.
good music. You're just you're
So then
vibing
you're
to
like,
it.
You know, you're picturing yourself dancing, and you're like, yeah. So now and then I think to myself, hey, if somebody invites me to a wedding,
Right,
like, I'm gonna be ready to go. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm ready to go, baby. You know. But no, yeah, because once I remember realizing that one day, like, dude, like, okay, even though I'm a big dude, like, I'll go to a wedding
Mhm.
and I'll dance for like 15 minutes. I'm like, oh man.
Right.
But I'm doing it because I'm having fun.
You're having
Right? I'm
fun.
dancing with my
Yeah.
wife,
Yeah.
dancing with my
And your
parent,
wife
whatever.
loves it, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
especially yeah.
So then it's like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
And I'll do that like on the days where I'm like, I'm not gonna. I'm like, dude, I can't go to the gym right now.
Mhm.
It's all good. And then I'll just do that. And then I'll I have to do my stretches because, I mean, my sciatic, right?
Mhm.
And then sometimes I feel like my right side of my hip is like, I don't know if there's
Little out
something
of
going
whack
on
or
there.
something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then like I'll get like a little pop right here, like, oh, like I'll feel like a little nerve, like, oh, out of nowhere. And the only thing I can do is like kind of like my stretches, and then that way throughout the day I don't feel that,
Yeah.
and it's helped. You know, I kind of like, it's almost like you're bending over, kind of down, and then just kind of stretching out this hip area here, or
Like
this little
Is
area.
that like your hip flexor or something like
Something
that?
like that,
Oh,
yeah. And then so that helps me out. And then even if I don't work out a day, like let's say on Saturday I'm off, I'll still do my stretches.
Yeah.
Because I'm scared, right? I'm afraid that my sciatic's gonna give out again, and then.
Do you think that pushes you a lot in what you do or don't do? Is like you're afraid of hurting yourself in one way or the other, or not? Like, you know what I mean? Like do you feel like a lot of the stuff like you either do or don't do is like a
motivation,
like a fear-based motivation, though? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah,
but because it's like, think about it. Like at one point, like I was stuck in bed or on the floor or in the ER, and I'm like thinking that this is it. Like I'm never going to walk normal again.
Oh, that's how bad you thought it was, or that's
no, it
how
was. I literally could not stand up straight.
right.
Was outside with the walker, walking with the walker. Like, cause I was still like, I was home by myself and I had to walk my dog to take him to the bathroom, and I was on a walker because I was like, I couldn't stand up straight. Damn. It was really that bad.
Yeah.
And I was like, even my wife was like, dude, like, is this it? Like, you know, like, is this gonna be
Is
the
this
rest
it?
of our
Is this
life?
my
Like,
husband
this is
from
like,
now
yeah,
on?
like, is this it? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And like,
was that
she
when
was
you were?
scared.
Was that when you were like 380?
Yeah, that's when I was like
Okay.
380.
Okay.
And I was already working at the dealership that we work at. And I just remember like, yeah, because it was July 4th of 2018. We were going to the park in Elk Grove to go see the fireworks, and we parked like 2 miles away.
Right.
And so I was carrying those like foldable chairs.
I
was carrying both of them, my wife's and mine, and I was walk there, and then when I walked back. So the next morning, dude, my back was just hurting so bad.
Yeah.
Got in my car and I was like, oh my God, my back hurts. And then by the time I got back and got out of the car and started working, at that time I was just doing kind of like receptionist / BDC stuff. And I could not get up from my seat the whole day.
Yeah.
And then that was it, bro. Like I was just like, dude, I had to go on disability. I
Oh,
was out
really?
for like I think like a whole month.
Dang.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so, I mean, it kind of sucks that you have to go through that to finally be like, yo, I need to change my life. But those are things that happen, right? Like sometimes those things happen. Like under pressure, you have to change sometimes, right? Under the pressure, and it takes pressure to change anything, right? Even lifting weights, right? Doing push-ups, like you have to, no pain, no gain, right? Even when you're lifting weights, like you want to feel that pump because you know what you do, that's what's gonna make your muscles grow and become a stronger person.
Like that what you're saying about like with pressure, right? I find like the best time in life is when you lean into that pressure. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like a lot of the times, because it's comfortable, right, to lean away from that pressure. Something pushing on you, well, it's just lean the other way, and it doesn't feel as bad. You know what I mean? But you're not, like you said, lifting weights, you're not growing, right? So like when that pressure comes, like that's when you know you're going the right direction almost, when you lean and press back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like that's when I think I've changed the most. That's when I've grown the most, is like leaning back into that pressure and like and going that direction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because I know like we were talking about, like it's easy to get to eat like crap, right? It's easy to not do anything for a whole day, and it's easy to,
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm
100%.
saying? Like, especially if you like had a night out before and you're just
Yeah, you're tired. You're
tired.
done.
It's been a night out.
Yeah.
You know, you ate like crap. You drank like shit. You know, and all this stuff.
You feel
right?
hungover.
Feel
You are
hungover.
hungover, even when
Yeah.
you're not.
Right?
Like even myself, like I can literally eat, pizza and then maybe drink a Coke because I was like, I'll just drink Coke, and then next day I feel like crap because you're hungover off of the carbs, basically.
and then it makes you feel even worse because now you're laid up, right?
Mhm.
But if you like, but if you, it goes both ways. You lean into that pressure of okay, well, I'm not going to eat that, right? And you end up feeling better the next day, or that day. Let's say you did mess up, because it's never a straight journey or a straight line, right?
Mhm.
Like I've been explaining it a lot this way lately, is like, if your goal's way up here, and you're trying to get to that goal, you're gonna have your up, and then life's gonna life. You're gonna slide back, stuff's gonna go down, but as long as you keep your eye on that goal up there and you keep on pushing upward, you're always going in the better direction,
And then I think too, a lot of us, especially when you don't, you're not used to going to the gym or even trying to work out or whatever it is. Like I think you see athletes on TV and you think like, that's what I have to do. Like I got to do those crazy workouts to change my body, and I have to, sprint. I got to do cardio. I got to do all this stuff. And it's like, and then I can tell you right now, the 60 pounds I lost, I did not once go for like 2-mile runs or 1-mile run or 3-mile. I didn't do any of that. I did go for like long walks, but you know what? I'm gonna go for a half an hour walk. I'm gonna go for an hour walk,
right?
Because an hour ends up being like almost 3.5 miles. And then just walking.
Yeah.
Walking itself, like people don't realize like how good walking is for you, because you're not stressing your body out, right? Which is not creating cortisol. Like you're working out the big muscles of your body, which are your legs, while you're doing that. Me just lifting weights, like I'm not lifting like crazy. I'm not, you know what I mean? And I lost like 60 pounds. Like
right.
I think of a person that's, what they call morbidly obese. I hate to say that, but if you're overweight, like what you have on your body, what you're seeing, like all this extra, it's just energy. It's just stored energy. That's what it is. And like some people get scared because they think like when you talk about fasting or whatever, I don't know. I'm going to feel hungry. And then I go, look, what really put it in my brain was hormones, and how hormones do certain things for you. Okay. And I tell people like, do you realize why you're hungry? And they'll be like, what do you mean? Why? I'm hungry because I need to eat. No. You're hungry because your body is used to eating at that time. So your body creates the hunger hormone, which is ghrelin, and it shoots up at that time. So let's say you eat every morning at 8
What's
in the
it
morning.
called?
Ghrelin. Let's say you eat in the morning, 8 in the morning, every morning, since you were 10 years old, whatever, this is normal. And you notice that one day you wake up and you eat at 7. And then 8 o'clock rolls around. And why am I still hungry? Why am I hungry? It's 8 o'clock. I already ate at 7. Because that hormone is shooting up at 8 o'clock, because you're used to that. So now you're like, oh, see, and you don't realize it. Why am I hungry? I just ate freaking big old. But see, that's what it is. And so when you fast, your body starts to adjust to that, and it doesn't shoot out that hormone no more. Let's say you're used to doing 18 hours. Notice that at that time, let's say if it's 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, you're like, because it's that hunger hormone. Yeah. But again, it's not saying your body's not telling you
you have to eat. Yeah.
No, you have energy all over your body.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Right?
100%.
And so that right there, once I heard that, I was like, oh, this is it. I don't care if somebody tells me you need to eat something, you're starving yourself.
Right.
Like, no, bro. Like, I'm not starving myself, okay?
Well, that's the thing. And everybody's different, right? So like my wife, her her mom and dad, I mean, they've been blessed with some great metabolisms. Like they're both about 60 years old, and they can pretty much eat what they want when they want. Like my father-in-law, he gets the brownies, the little brownie bites, and he gets the cheesecake mix. He makes them, and he's 60 years old. He almost has a 6-pack. He works construction. You know what I mean? Like he's just been blessed with that, right? You know, I mean, other people, they really have to work at it, you know, and that can be disheartening to some people because they try, right?
That's not working.
But something's just not working for them. And it's like you have to try something and find what works for you. So obviously, like intermittent fasting works for my body type, your body type, you know, it works for a multitude of people, you know, and a lot of it, like you said, a lot of it is a hormone. I didn't know about the ghrelin,
Yeah.
ghrelin hormone.
I wish it was called gremlin.
Right. But it's just that mindset you get to put yourself into, you know, I'm not going to die if I don't eat right now. I'm not going to, you may.
The ones that scare me are like the diabetics, right? Like if somebody that's diabetic, those are the ones that I'm always like, okay, consult with your physician because you're diabetic. Like I don't want to, like your sugars are going to go down. You can have a freaking stroke. Like I don't want to mess with you. But if you're not diabetic, you can do it. That's what I would say. You know?
Yeah. Now, were you pre-diabetic? Did you ever get into that range? Like,
there was times where like the doctors would be like, yeah, you're pre-diabetic or whatever. Cause you know, I would do the fasted,
the glucose test or whatever it is.
But I mean, I'm just grateful that I never did.
Right? Me too. 100%, man. That's because whenever I had blood work done, your blood work's fine. Your heart rate's fine. Your blood pressure's fine. All this stuff, right? And one thing I wish I would have known about earlier was like how insulin resistant I was actually creating myself, because my insulin was probably always spiked so high from eating all these carbs and all this like sodas and it wasn't even sodas for me. It was like energy drinks. Like I do like full throttles and NOSes and stuff.
I was a Monster fan.
Yeah, that wasn't like none of the sugar-free stuff, right? Yeah. And I wish like it was more widely accepted to like for doctors to test for insulin levels to know if your insulin's through the roof, controlling all of this bad glucose that you have in your system, right? Because from there I think it would change a lot of people's minds on what they need to be doing. Like, oh, I'm fine, I'm not even pre-diabetic. Well, you kind of are because of what's going on inside your body.
Yeah, I think what's crazy now is that now I'm like, I know that I'm insulin sensitive.
Yeah.
And so I have to be careful, right? Like I got to be very careful because I know, I don't think I've ever told you this story, but I had an incident in Las Vegas where I had to go deliver this car, and I think I ate like a little tiny bit of something like 4 a.m. And then I didn't eat anything until like 7 or 8 that night. And then what I ended up eating was like those White Castle burgers. Like I ate like 2 of them, super greasy, super carby. And then my wife's like, hey, let's have these margaritas. And, margaritas like with sugar.
Yeah.
And I just remember like I had that. We're walking around. I walked into the store and I was just like, I was telling my wife, I was like, dude, I feel like throwing up. I just feel that, that feeling you're getting.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I just felt like everything, all the lights and everything were just turning off on me, bro.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, what's wrong? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, dude, I think I'm dying. I think I'm going to die. And I literally fell to the ground. Like, I just because I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
And my wife's like, oh my God, what do you know? I was like, just give me some water. And then I just remember like dry heaving, like, And then I just felt my life just came back, bro. She gave me water. The freaking, they have ambulances out there. They came to me and were like checking me, and they're like, they did EKG, like you're fine.
Yeah.
And then I think after that I realized like, dang, dude, like I think I'm insulin sensitive.
Yeah.
because there's hypoglycemic, and then there's hyperglycemic.
Yeah.
I think that would be under hyperglycemic or hype.
I don't even know, but I know
think
what
it might
you're
be
saying.
hypoglycemic.
Yeah.
But there's two of them, right? So I think that's what it is, and because of the fasting, because of all that, like we've turned our bodies into hyperglycemic. So now when we do eat bread, now when we do eat a Coke, like we feel it.
Oh yeah.
We'll feel it, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a trip, man. But to think that there's people out there that are, you know, that they need more insulin, right? They're shooting themselves up with more insulin because, again, the insulin shoots up. What your body should normally be doing, your insulin shoots up, speaks to the liver. Liver's like, okay, it's time to break everything down.
Yeah.
And then a normal, right? But then, okay, that also turns into a fatty liver, right? Like, what if you have a fatty liver? That's probably why you need shooting insulin.
Yeah.
So then, again, working out, right? Fasting, working out. This is what's going to help now because now you're starting to burn that fat.
Because the fasting can reverse fatty liver.
I'm sure. I mean,
I believe it does.
Yeah.
I believe it does. I believe that's part of one of the things that I had done some research on or seen something on was the fasting can reverse a fatty liver because what happens at certain hours. This is part of the other thing of what I love about fasting is it burns fats that we don't normally get to burn, right?
Yeah.
I think the brown fats or something like that.
Yeah, I was hearing a doctor talk about that. A lot of people have that. There's a certain name to it, and I wish it's like on the tip of my tongue. I was watching some doctor talk about it, how, like there's people that will just do like a protein, just steak and salads, and then that way your body starts to, I want to say it's not adipose. It's like, I forgot what kind of fat it is. It is the brown fat though. Basically, that's deep inside.
It's like the fats that are closer to our organs and stuff like that.
That hangs around all our organs.
Yeah, you know, and it starts to attack that more. And like, you know, I mean, we're talking about like brain fog. I mean, gosh darn, man, there's so many
things that can cause brain fog.
But there's so many advantages or so many good consequences, I guess. I'm trying to think of the better word to fasting. You know what I mean? Like you said, lowers your inflammation. You sleep so much better. Your energy is increased. Like, besides the weight loss, there's so many other benefits to the fasting that really are it's like a really incredible way to go about almost the rest of your life.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not saying you can't have like a weekend of like, okay, it's Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat some pizza.
I'm gonna eat some pizza. I'm gonna have some fun. Blah blah blah. But then the next day, shoot, hit it like this every Thanksgiving now since I've started intermittent fasting. You know, starting on Thursday, right? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday about noon. Like I'm like, okay, that's enough. I'm done. Like, and I'll probably eat my last meal on like Sunday at like 4:30. I won't eat another meal or anything until Monday at like 5:36. 24-hour fast. I feel like I'm almost back to normal, and then I'll go another 24 hours. And in 2 days, I basically feel like I've canceled out that whole weekend of just eating like shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It brings my body back, brings my mind back, brings everything back in focus, and it can like almost reverse like those days of like what you were doing, you know. So
no, yeah, and I think like what I like about fasting, it's kind of made me mindful of just the diet, right? So in my mind, I'm like, dude, I know I gotta relax on the carbs. So even if, let's say, Saturday is my day off or Sunday, and I'm like, I'm gonna eat early, I'll just be like, dude, I'm just gonna make myself an omelet.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll eat like low carb bread.
Right.
So then I end up taking in like 20 grams of carbs. Sometimes not even 20.
Right.
Because I'm eating an omelet. And it's like, this is amazing. So you're saying like I can eat this and I'm not gonna like fall asleep because I'm like dying because of all the carbs that I say, right? If I ate pancakes and ate, you know, a breakfast burrito and pancakes or something crazy like that, like of course I'm gonna pass out.
Right. Yeah. No. Exactly. I mean, there's nothing like at a certain point. I get it because there's no like there. It could be such a like, especially if like let's say you got all your stuff lined up, all your your chores are all done, the kids are taken care of, work is good, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And you just like, I'm not saying it doesn't feel good to have a big ass meal and just veg out for a little bit. But when that becomes routine, you know what I mean? When that becomes like, oh, that's my Saturday and that's my Sunday.
No, well, I do that. I was telling you, I do that Lumen, right, where I breathe, and it'll tell me like certain like basically it's carb cycling.
Yeah,
and that's helped me a lot. That's helped me lose at least another 30 pounds because I feel like what this thing is telling me, like, hey, you can take in more food, bro.
Right.
Like you can eat more food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
you can eat more food or you can eat more carbs.
Well, more carbs, more carbs. So it's like, hey, like there'll be days where it's like, hey, you're gonna take 260 grams of carbs. I'm like, first of all, how the hell am I gonna do that? But I'll be like, okay. So it's basically because it's like you're teaching your body how to metabolize this food, right? Because even when you're fasting, you're getting yourself used to like a certain metabolism, right? So now, because let's say you're not taking, maybe you've gone keto for so long, for like a whole year or something, you just straight did keto. Now your body, like to get your body to go back to burning carbs the way it should be is going to take some time too.
Yeah.
So this thing is kind of like showing me, okay, you can burn carbs. Like now I'm going to teach your body, your metabolism, how to burn carbs.
Yeah.
And it works.
And now, how does it work?
So basically it reads your CO2 level. So like every morning, right, you blow in and it'll say like, oh, if you're at like a 1 or 2, like if you're a 1, like you're burning fat.
Okay.
Ketones? You're burning a lot of fat that day. If I'm at a 2, I'm burning like 65% fat and then like whatever carbs.
Yeah.
But if I'm like at a 3 or a 4, there goes up to 5. Like I've seen people do it, breathe, and it's like at a 5. I'm like, how the heck? But it's because their body's burning hell of carbs.
Their
like
body's so used to burning those carbs that that's just where they're at.
That's what they're at.
Okay.
When I first started,
the
very first time I ever did it, I was like at a 1 because I was doing keto. I was like, what's wrong? But it's because I was so used to doing fasting. So the highest I've ever gone is like a 4. I've never hit a 5.
Yeah.
Even after the days that.
But you've seen people hit 5.
Yeah, I've seen them like where they blow and it hits a 5. I'm like, damn, because their bodies.
And what did they? What was their body type? Were you surprised at it? Was it like?
At first, I thought I was kind of surprised because they were smaller people. They weren't bigger people or anything.
Right.
But who knows? Like maybe they're used to eating a lot of carbs before they work out or something, and so now when they're working out, their body's burning carbs.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because there's times where you do measure after you work out, and then hey, good job, your body's burning carbs. Like it's using carbs to.
Is that what our body wants to burn for the workout?
Sometimes
or it depends on what your goal is, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are doing that want to do that. They want to burn carbs. Like there's people that can't work out fasted. They feel weird.
Yeah.
Like they don't feel right. Like there's people they'll eat some carbs and then they'll work out. And then they're used to. But to me, it feels like I don't want to do that because I'm a big guy.
Right. Yeah.
I want to burn fat.
We have different goals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's the thing. Like everyone has different goals. Everyone has different ideas of what their body needs to be or should be or whatever. Right. And finding that balance and finding out what your goal is, and what you're trying to accomplish, I guess. So yeah, it's not a one size fits all. 100%.
No, yeah, and I think that's the cool thing about it is just the fact that you're being mindful of what you're taking in, and then just being mindful, like, hey man, like I know I feel good when I work out, so I'm gonna work out, right? Like every morning when I work out, like I know I'm going to work, like I want to feel good at work, I want to feel energized at work. So what do? I want to work out because the day that I say, nah, I'm not gonna work out today, I come and work out. And it's like, not even coffee works.
right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Hey, but before we end this, like I do want you to plug, bro, because I know you got your store, and I want you to plug your store, bro.
All right. Well, I mean, you haven't been there yet.
No, I haven't. But I've been
going to my in-laws
I've been to
shop.
your in-laws because it is closer, and I've gone there, and I've had the acai bowl, which is amazing.
It's good, huh?
Yeah, dude. You're telling me it's only 40 grams.
I'm telling you.
Carbs. I can't believe it because it tastes amazing.
Right?
Like ice cream or something.
Right. That's what it is. It's a healthy ice cream. You know what I mean? It's so we got our shop there in Quail Lakes Shopping Center, 4719 Quail Lakes.
Stockton.
Drive in Stockton, right next to the DD's Discount and the Save Mart. So across the street from what is that? Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
But yeah, so in that area over there, we're open Tuesday through Friday, 6 a.m. Come see me early in the morning. That's when I get there until noon. Or no, excuse me, until 2. And then Saturdays we're open 9 to noon. So that's when my wife is there. Saturdays.
And you guys make some bomb protein shakes.
We got protein shakes. We got protein waffles, protein donuts. We do these protein cookie dough bites that are. Oh man,
bring some, bro.
Fuego. I'll bring some into the dealership. But yeah, we got that. The protein waffles too. Those are good, man. And then, but yeah, the energy teas. But plus we got pre-workout, post-workout. We got everything. We got. I mean, shoot, there's something for everybody.
What am I Googling?
Protein Hub.
Protein
Hub. Man, my hair's a mess in that camera. But yeah, Protein Hub. And then we do workouts every Monday and Wednesday at the factory on Grider Way. So that's at 7:30 p.m. It's $8. You get a workout and a post-workout shake for $8.
Nice.
And then if it's your first time, you get a free energy shot, which is our vitamin B complex, ginseng, a little bit of caffeine, stuff like that. So you can keep that for the next day because not many people want to take it at.
When are those workouts?
7:30 at night. Those are Monday and Wednesday, 7:30 p.m.
Nice.
So Protein Hub Protein Hub 209 is the Instagram. Check us out on Facebook. We do 21-day challenges. Chance to win $1,000. It's a $10,000 pot. So yeah, those are fun. Those come with at-home workout guides, guided workout guides at the gym. What else we got? Meal guides, and then just accountability and just a community that's like that is our goal, is to build a community that is there to support one another, to get to everyone's goals are different, but just a accountability of creating a community that gets to be a just happier, healthier lifestyle.
All right.
Yeah,
that's
man.
dope, dude. I'll have to come through. I know I say that you're like, "What's up, Maury? You gonna come through or what?" Well, I mean, I live in Elk Grove. That's my first reason why.
Okay.
Or excuse or whatever.
I got you. No, it's all good.
But yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in, man. We'll see you next time on Estolo. Good night.
Good night.
Or good morning or whatever.
Or whatever. Thanks, Mario. Appreciate it, my man.
You're welcome, brother.